Welcome to Mother Industrialist live show where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. And today is episode 13. And I'm the host, Kenneth. I'm the author of Mother Industrialist, Perfecting the Balance Between Motherhood and Business Success. And I'm also the founder of KC Creative Marketing, where we provide designing services and marketing consultancy. So today I have this really awesome lady. She's a single mom and she's a real estate sales and marketing specialist. She had hit her first $1 million at the age of 29 years old. And she's currently the team lead for Colorado Suburban Home Team. And for her, she strongly believes in providing service with sincerity and integrity. So, without further ado, let us welcome Judy. Hi, Judy.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So thanks for making time, especially early in the morning over at your end, and also really excited because the first time when I met you was through a friend who referred you to me, that you're also a mompreneur, and she said that you got to hear from her, you got to hear an inspiring story, and she's very she's like the guru in real estate, and through your friend Rebecca, and I'm so blessed to have connected with you. So, Judy, before we kickstart the show, there's a tradition, which is every guest get to post a question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So, are you ready with the question of the day before we kickstart the show?
Yep, yeah, I'm ready. I think.
Yeah, you're ready. So, the question of the day is, what do you do to help yourself to be more creative? So I repeat again, what do you do to help yourself to be more creative? So meantime, while you think about this question, I will go into Facebook Live and see if you are live successful, and also to see who's coming on live. Okay, I'll come back to
Okay,
you.
cool.
Let me just check. Judy, before we kickstart the show, there's a tradition, which is every guest. Okay, I can hear myself. I'm now waiting for your part. Okay, I can hear you. So cool. I see somebody coming online. Hi, hello. Welcome. Okay, so Judy, are you ready with your answer to the question of the day?
I'm ready,
Okay,
I think. So
come
what
on.
helps me stay creative?
Yes.
Honestly, I would say education.
Hmm.
Um, I drive a lot. I commute a lot between Colorado Springs and Denver, and
Hmm.
so I normally will stream books on anything that I think will help my business.
Hmm.
And yeah, I try to go to a lot of classes to learn more, and usually teachers are pretty passionate about what they teach,
Yes.
and so yeah, I think they inspire me to be more creative.
That's good. That's good. That means you get gaining knowledge is to help you to get more creative.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow, good. Thank you for your answer. And now we can kickstart the show, Judy. So before we go on, maybe you can do a short introduction about yourself because the audience will you are new to the audience. So maybe you can introduce yourself and what were you doing prior before you start your real estate business. So maybe you can start
Okay.
sharing with us. Yep.
Well, I'm from Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm like a regular kid. I played a lot of sports. I went to college on a sports scholarship, and picked up a job at a land sales company. And I was like, well, this is kind of cool. And, I watched my mom struggle, single mom of 4 kids, including my dad.
Wow.
So, she supported the family. And she's from Korea. She's an immigrant. And so I
Hmm.
think her struggle was a lot harder than most of our struggles, where at least we speak the language. We know we can always get a job if we really want to.
Hmm.
So she did a lot of physical work. And then I don't know, I was watching infomercials late at night about real estate investing, and I knew in my mind I didn't want to work as hard as she did. I said, there's gotta be a way to work smarter and not harder. And so I got into wanting to become like a real estate investor and flip homes and fix and flips. And then I became so to avoid paying the commission, like we all think, right? I got a real estate license. But in order to keep a real estate license, you have to associate with a broker, and that broker wants you to sell real estate. And so here I am.
Wow. So basically in short, you have like been in real estate for the longest time, like ever since you graduated, or
I started young in my early 20s, but honestly, I stopped because in 2007, 2008, I sold houses in Las Vegas, Nevada.
yeah.
And, a lot of people lost their homes, and that was I lost homes. It was really hard for me. I have like all my friends that are in the business. They're like not making as much money as we used to, for sure. And they're like wanting to kill themselves. And it was rough. A lot of people, so I was it was very depressing, to have all this money and then not to have it. It definitely humbled me. I came back to Colorado Springs, and I'd say for the last 8 years, I took sales jobs like over the phone. I worked for the cable company. I worked for Trulia. I worked for Zillow, but a lot of I would make 100 phone calls a day type it. And I was just like, man, this isn't for me, because I always wanted to go back to what I like to do, and that's flip homes.
And that brings us to the topic of the day, which is how to succeed in real estate with sincerity and integrity. So like for your case, you shared a lot about how you succeed and how did you become so passionate about real estate. So maybe you can share with us why are you so passionate about real estate, and you have been doing it, you have been flipping it, and even in between that you were in other jobs, but you still went back to real estate. So maybe you can share with us why are you so passionate about it, and what is in real estate that make you want to wake up every day and really make it work.
Honestly, for me, I think it's probably the way I was raised, because I did see a lot of people, I'm a military brat, and when you're in the military, you don't have a whole lot of money in the beginning. You have stability, which is great, but I've seen like friends go to war and come back and not be able to get jobs and like almost be homeless. And I think that's what really gets me doing it, is I'm like, you wouldn't be homeless if you owned your home, And so I think that's what really keeps me going, is if I can help families, especially first-time home buyers, if they don't know what to do, if I can help them with their first purchase, at least for the rest of their life. In Colorado, rent goes up. It's like crazy expensive. And, you could rent like a one-bedroom apartment easily for $1,300. But if I would have bought that condo 4 years ago, my mortgage would only be like $600. And so, but that's what keeps me going, is if I could just help a couple more people, and not just for their sake, but maybe for their kids' sake, so they have something to hand down to their kids, even if it is just a little condo. And I'm hoping a lot of times those condos turn into single family homes. Those single family homes become like $500,000 homes, Upgrade.
That is really awesome, and I can see that you are not just passionate about real estate. In fact, is to help people to own homes, and seeing that they will not be paying high rentals year after year, and also to pass it down to their children as a legacy, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah. And then and how was it like, because you shared that you hit your 1 million at the age of 29 years old. How was it like having that amount on your hands and at the age of 29? Because if I had that when I was 29, I'm really clueless whether how am I going to do with it. So how was it like back then when you hit the first 1 million at the age of 29? And it's within a year, right? Or
oh no, it took me probably 10 years to be worth $1 million. But my goal was to have like $1 million in the bank, liquid, that I could just go take whatever I wanted to, And it was crazy. It was a party, because I'm young, I'm stupid, and I'm not really saving into it. Um, and I swear, sometimes living in Las Vegas, I wonder, I'm like, what did I do for that decade? Where did it go? Because I partied so much. And, but it's, I don't think the hard part was making it. Don't get me wrong. It was hard making it. Okay. But I think it's harder to keep it once you get there. And the thing is I didn't. And it really humbled me. But I realized, I think the thing that hurt me the most was I see like a lot of my friends and like family members that are around me, they're not really there to support me, because when the money's gone, those relationships, like some of those relationships, several of those relationships were gone too.
Wow. Wow.
So it was hard. It was hard. And I saw like it was depressing. I saw, shit, you go from maybe having all these houses and all these cars and spending it whatever you want to and buying whatever you want to not being able to afford that. And then in the end, it's true what they say. It's lonely at the top, and so as you make more, you get lonelier.
Yeah.
And then when you get even lonelier when you realize that a lot of people are there just they're there for the party.
It's all coming for the fun, and you realize that you weren't happy because like many people that we know, they always wanted the million, they wanted
Yeah.
the big house, the big car, a lot of material stuff. But at the
Yep.
end of the day, like you mentioned, a lot of people that crowd around you when you have money, when you are rich, they are not in for you, they are in for the party, they are in for the cars, they're in for the good deals, and anything that is good around money, they just enjoy, have fun. And the moment that everything is gone, you just realize that that's where true friends are, and true friends stays, and some friends that
Yeah,
doesn't
for
even
sure.
stay. Even for family members and relatives, they don't stay. And for you, you have shared one thing that you was pretty lonely. Although you have the money, you can use money to make you happy, but something is missing, right? Something is
Right.
missing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also,
Well, my other thing, just real quick, is when you make money your goal,
mm,
okay, in hindsight, I would have worked on my relationships a lot harder,
mm,
instead of being like, oh, those will wait. I just want to go get that money, right? Like the
mm,
relationships that really mean anything, like with my mom and my sisters, those I should have worked on instead
mm,
of being neglecting them,
mm,
and waiting until, they came after the dollar because money, it comes, it goes. When they say it's the root of all evil, I could see that. If that's what you're really aspiring to, because once you hit that goal, that monetary goal,
yeah.
for me, I was really lost. So I was like, well, now what? Now I did
Yes.
that. Now what do I do? Now I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should think about getting married or something. And it just wasn't good.
Was that crossing your mind when that happened? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Because I am not married. I
mm,
have no kids.
mm.
And I mean, I could have got married, but then I realized, like, do I really love him? I don't know. It was crazy. But, I do feel like it's important. If you find someone that you love, I think you should really work hard at trying to keep that relationship and
Yeah,
give it attention, and don't let money be, because like I said, all money's not good money. You can have a lot of money, but if you don't have a real good purpose to put
yes,
that money, then it's all for nothing.
yeah. Like you mentioned that money you can earn it, but the hardest is not about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. And
That's right.
that is a quote from Warren Buffett that I heard from, that he quoted.
Yeah.
And he shared that with even with Bill Gates, when Bill Gates was asking him that what is the one thing that why is his, because when there was an interview between Bill Gates and also Warren Buffett, and in this interview, it's a talk show, and in this interview, Warren Buffett was sharing with Bill Gates his calendar, his schedule, and Bill Gates realized that why is there a lot empty slot in his diary, in his schedule, in his calendar. And while Bill Gates was wondering that I'm already a CEO, you are also a CEO, what makes the difference? Like, I'm so busy with meetings, meeting the higher management, and how come your schedule is so empty? And what Warren Buffett shared during the interview, and it got into me, is that he can practically buy anything on earth in the world, but one thing that he could not buy is time. That's why he valued time over everything.
That's right.
Yeah. So when that quote comes, and it really hit me, I just realized that it's coming out from the wildly successful, the wealthiest man on earth. And that really struck me. Like he practically can buy anything, but one thing he couldn't buy is time. That's why he allocate a lot of time for himself. And the other thing that he also shared is, that if you check out, he still wear the same watch until now. He still drive the same car. So it's not about how much you earn, it's about how much you
Yeah,
keep. That's why it
that's
makes
true.
him, yeah. So what you shared is really true. And you also shared, I thank you for sharing all that, because really appreciate the courage, and also you being brave and share all this. And in fact, although you earn 1 mil at the age of 33, which is about 4 years later, the market crashed and you went into a very huge debt of 4.2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a amount that is so crazy. So it's like really like the stock market drop, even like your life drop. How did you overcome it? How
Um,
long do you take to really bring it back? Because I guess a lot of people who gone through that, not as much as you, that you have been through a
yeah.
debt of 4.2 million. A lot of people, maybe a few 100,000, they are already committing suicide. They may feel that their life is wasted. So what was going through on your mind, which I'm really curious, and maybe you can share with the audience out here.
Oh gosh, it's crazy because I gotta tell you, like I said, it was really hard keeping that money. And I
Hmm.
still think one of the best days of my life was the day when I really couldn't pay that mortgage. And I was like, gosh, I've worked for decades building this credit and trying to manage all this money, and now I can't pay it. And so there goes my credit. And I'm like, well, screw it. I'm not paying anybody anymore.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people went through that. It is hard, to lose houses. And most of that was mortgage debt, just because I would take my earnings and I put it all in one basket and I'd buy more real
Hmm.
estate, more real
Oh.
estate. And now I have all this real estate. And I'm like totally upside down in all this real estate. um, but so afterwards, now in hindsight, it was hard. There were a lot of times when I cried and I was really upset. I never contemplated suicide because, I was always Catholic and we don't believe in suicide. Um, but I will tell you, it was hard. And I realized that when, in the end, the only people that are really there is your family. So you can
Hmm.
always go back home and, and they helped me through it, and it wasn't easy, but it really humbled myself. But you know what? I came from nothing.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
to come from nothing to make something, that's where it didn't hurt me as bad as it hurt those people that all came from something and they lost
Yeah.
everything. Now they're nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but and I will tell you this: I always knew from studying like all those, how to get rich in real estate seminars and tapes and all that. That I would recover. And then and I think truly credit wise, I think you get a second chance every 10 years. I mean, and now that I've lived it, there's programs. I never went bankrupt, I just kind of waited it out. Now it's been about 8 years, and most of that, legally, they can only keep some of that debt on your credit for about 6 to 7 years.
Hmm.
But 6 to 7 years flies by. And so yeah, I think you can wait it out. But I recovered. It wasn't easy, but
Hmm.
you got to keep going, especially when you're a parent.
Hmm.
Out of necessity, you have
Yes.
to keep going.
Yes. And that became the desire. And I'm really shocked that you share with me, or surprised that you share that you did not went bankrupt, despite that the amount is so huge. What is it, because that you know that you can flip it back again as quickly, as over time, that you're able to flip it back,
um,
or
I
that
just
doesn't cross your mind?
well, I think with real estate is cyclical. Is that the word? Where it goes up, it goes down, it goes up and down, just like the stock market. It
Hmm.
goes up, it goes down, it goes up and down. But and I know from being, from my mom losing
Hmm.
jobs and us moving because we're military and stuff,
Hmm.
chances are really high you're probably gonna fall off. and then it comes back up, and then you go broke, and then you come back up. I just haven't quite figured out, and I'm working on it. How do you just, and I see that's why I believe in home ownership, because at least if you owned your house, you can budget. You know how much it's going to cost you to live next year, but and so you can, if you lose it, you're okay. You just can't go buy any cars or do any fun stuff for a little while.
Yeah, yeah, understand. Got it. So, you also became the Rookie of the Year when you started off in your first year in 2005. So, what was that? Because for you, you wasn't doing any sales job before that, before when
Yeah.
you.
I never did sales, but my mom's Korean and she's a hard worker, and I was the the HUD repo specialist in the office because none of those other agents wanted to do it. They weren't going to go into those gross abandoned homes that are 50,000. Like, to them, that was beneath them. Okay, but for me, I'm new. I'm hungry, and plus, I think from like doing sports and competing all the time, when they put those numbers up, you're like, I'm gonna beat that person. I'm gonna beat that person.
Wow.
So yeah, but it was a lot of volume, and it's funny because those $50,000 condos, those people later on in life bought 200, 300, 400, 500. They came back. Their family members bought from me.
Wow.
So in the beginning, it was not easy, but I did a lot of volume. I made mediocre money because of the real estate splits. But I'd say year 4 is when I started making a lot of money from my referrals.
Wow, wow. So it does really take time for it to grow. And you were saying that something about you being athletic and putting it into the business because you were like maybe more competitive or you're more driven. So what are the things that as athlete what were you what sport were you in when you were athletic back then?
When I was an athlete, what
Yes.
position did I play?
Yes.
Well, I was a center and I played basketball
Wow.
in high school.
Yeah, I
I
like
ran.
that.
Yeah, and then I played volleyball too. I like volleyball because volleyball, I don't like to do all that running. So I went to junior college on volleyball, and then I went to UTEP in Texas for afterwards, and then Metro State in Denver. Um, yeah, and I don't know. I think that and that's another thing I knew that kind of sets me apart from the other athletes. Like, as a female athlete back then, there was no NWA. They were not going to play sports after college.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, when you play sports during college, it's not easy because they always, some schools don't have your major, but you have this scholarship, and they'll yank that scholarship if you get hurt. So it's really reactive. And so my degree ended up being in like sports medicine and biology, but I became a salesperson. But I do think from just maybe being an athlete, being competitive like that, it helped me in sales. I will say that any sales positions that I've had, I was an account manager at Zillow Group, and I just noticed like a lot of those people were athletes. A lot of those salespeople are, they're used to competing.
Yeah, yeah. And you were saying that you were in basketball and you play the center, and that's a position where a lot of battle, a lot of really roughness that comes in, I believe, even for ladies. Yeah. So for
Yeah.
ladies, you guys will also be very rough. And also volleyball, which is a very, I should say, very fast and also really, really competitive because everything is so fast. You have to move fast, and it's really you cannot have a second thought, which is very, very useful in doing sales because you just have to take action. You just have to move it.
Yeah, it's true. You have to have confidence. You
Yes.
can't be scared.
Yes.
You can be scared, but you can't get over it.
Yes. And I believe for sales, the number one thing is the fear of rejection. And when like when you play any sports, it's about failing and failing and doing and doing and repeatedly you keep doing the things that you've been doing, like your sales pitch, like keep going out to people, and also that the persistent. I should say that maybe the persistent of being athletic does help you pull through the journey of being doing sales. Am I right to say that?
Um, Probably. I don't know. I've never thought about it like that, but yeah,
Maybe
that's
it's already
probably.
in your blood.
Yeah, well, it's a numbers game. So you're
Yeah.
like, shoot, if I can take 1,000,000 free throws, I'm going to hit a couple of them, right?
In fact, you talk about the numbers game. It just let me bring back to you being an athlete, because as an athlete, as a student, you got to learn. You got to learn from the coach. You are just
Yeah,
digesting whatever. You just being good at listening to instruction and to the
that's true.
methods, and also you have no question. You will not doubt your basketball coach that he or she is teaching you the wrong basketball method. And that applies to when you come to out to the workforce. When someone is doing good in sales, you just listen to the person or the trainer that's training you. And that's
Yes,
why that is the I can find that it can there's similarities in you learning from a coach and learning your sales your skills in sales. So basically you can transfer to that. And I see that because basically you just listen, you just duplicate, you just listen, just duplicate, and that is
yep.
what. And the best thing is, you have the determination to really go out and go through the numbers, because you know that going through the numbers is like you doing the drills, the basketball drills. You shoot
Mhm.
10,000, 20,000. You know that if you do that, your accuracy will rise. Even for the same for sales, the more sales pitch that you do, it will also
Mhm.
increase your sales conversion, because it make you more confident. You know that okay, the next move is what, the next pitch is what is your next thing that you're going to do. Are you going to do your closing and all that stuff? You know all that in the fingertips. And it's all because of all the training back then of you being an athlete. Yeah, I see
That's
that.
true.
I see that association. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's really good because like you also realize that a lot of the guys in real estates are also athletes,
Yeah, it's true. And
surprisingly.
and you're right. If you're coachable, someone's going to be
Yes,
willing to coach you.
yes, especially in sales. Yeah.
Yes.
So like we have talked about a lot about real estate. So do you think that real estate is for everybody, like especially mothers?
You know what? Honestly, I don't know if real estate sales is necessarily, but I will say, if anybody asks me if they should get a real estate license, okay, my
Mm,
answer is always going to be like, yes. Even if you don't get the real estate license, pay the
mm,
$1,000 to go to school, because if it helps you to make your first home purchase, then it was worth it. But if
yes.
you like it and you think you can make a career and you're willing to work hard, then I would say go sell it.
Which is good. And you I still remember that in our previous Zoom meeting you were sharing something about owning a house versus renting a house, especially in United States. So you're sharing
Yeah.
something. Maybe you can share with the audience who are watching, and maybe some of your people who's in your Facebook that are watching. Maybe you can share something with them.
I would just say that I see a lot of people's grandparents that bought
Mm,
their house years ago, like 70 years ago, and their payments are like $500, $600. If you can afford to do it, and plus, don't get me wrong, there are some cons to owning, okay?
mm,
Like in this market, it's really expensive right now. And on top of that, you got to pay to get things repaired, okay? But let's say you buy in a down market, okay? Either way, if it's for your own house, I would say you should buy because you get the tax benefit. And on
mm.
average, I see most people, they're getting back like $5,000 to $6,000 every year from owning a home,
Wow.
plus the equity when that home sells. And like I said, I'm very passionate about the deal. I
Mm,
like getting people a return on their investment. So I like to look out for them, hopefully get them a home that is going to have some equity when they sell it so that they
mm.
can walk away with. And I've got friends that are walking away with like $120,000, $180,000
Wow.
cash selling their home. And they want
Wow.
to, it's the only way that I know poor people can get rich.
Wow, wow. So yeah, now teaching people how to get rich through owning a property.
Yeah, not even rich, just at least secure. At least you're not
Mm,
going to be homeless. And neither are your kids ever, as long as you keep on making this payment, which you would have to pay anyway.
Yeah, yeah, that is really awesome, and a lot of things that you share, because likewise in Singapore, yeah, and the property
Mhm.
industry is like that. So maybe whatever you shared, it could be applicable over here, depending on the laws and depending on how the investment going to be. And going back to our topic, you was sharing about how to succeed in real estate with sincerity and integrity. So is that a practice, or is that something that you believe in that carry you throughout your real estate career?
Yeah, absolutely. Because for me, people, you're not just a number. I wouldn't have
Mm,
gone back into real, because like I said, I made more money than I could ever want. And I've also been in sales positions where you're so motivated by those metrics and that quota. um, but I would say, you know, it's not one of those industries where you have to fake it to make it. Most
mm,
people are going to do business with you just because you do seem very sincere. And I
mm.
am. You tell me what your family wants. I will try to accommodate you within your budget. And I'll take it away too. Like if I don't think it's a good deal, even though it might be, I get paid, I won't sell a home to
Mm,
somebody if I think it's going to have some issues later, because like
mm,
I said, I want to be their realtor forever and their
mm.
family's realtor. I want all their I want to do all their family. And that's how I make my friends.
Mm,
We become friends. But I think if you just, that's why so many women do so well in real estate, you
mm.
know, because they have kids, they know what it's like to have to provide for someone else,
Yeah.
and it's a different type of world now. There's a lot of, guys that are looking for that mom to support him too, because he doesn't want to pay bills.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so that's why when you ask me, do I think it's for everyone? I think it's worth a shot.
Mm,
You don't have to be, I don't look at it as sales anymore.
mm,
I look at it as like I'm a consultant,
mm.
because that's my job. I just have to teach you what's out there, what you can afford, and show you. But I don't need to sell you, because homes are going to sell on their own,
Yep,
whether
yep.
you use me or someone else. But at least I'll tell you the truth and what I think. You
Yes.
know.
And you
Therefore,
share with them how they can profit, or even to leave a legacy for their children by just
yes,
owning a property. And it's not hard, because you did mention that like locally you guys have some grants, and which the first timers can tap on, and basically they
yeah.
can own a house without a lot of difficulties.
Oh yeah. So we have in Colorado we have a couple programs
Hmm.
where you come in with $1,000 of your own money. That's all
Hmm.
you need.
Wow.
They'll lend you or grant you 4% of whatever the loan is. So if it's a
Wow.
$300,000 house, that's 12 grand
Hmm.
that they'll just basically give you, because they're trying to fight homelessness.
Hmm.
So there's this money out there, as long as you have decent credit.
Hmm.
I think the 680
Hmm.
credit score gives you, so work on it. And you have a job for the last 2 years and make under $109,000. I think that's the parameters. You qualify to get your first home for only $1,000.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
I wish that we could get a home in Singapore with $1,000.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really hope so. Although for us, maybe slightly a bit more, maybe another zero, which is possible for the deposit, for the down payment, which is possible. Because I think,
Mhm.
I guess I shared with you, like previously, the property here is crazy, because we are
Yeah.
such a small country, basically a small island, and property prices are like maybe 100 times more than what you guys have over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like our bungalows or landed basically cost millions, at least a million Sing dollar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so which is crazy. Yeah. So but I guess that there's always, in every place you are able to invest into property or own a home, that you can also put it as a legacy. Just that in
Yeah.
Singapore it costs a bit more. But over there, I can see that because you shared a lot, that you have shared this to help people, especially parents, and also especially single parents, like some single parents, because they are struggling, and at the same time owning a home will help them out pretty much in the future, or
Yeah.
even for their children in the future too. So which is something that that I truly believe that why you're so passionate, whether you are earning money from it or not, you're still sharing and still helping people, because to have a roof over their head, especially with children, especially parents, and particularly the single parents. So
Mhm.
example coming from you, because you felt that, and because you have that gift, like previously you were sharing that, like out in your own class, you seems to be the unique one, or the odd one out, like you're always going out to people, going to network people, being
Yeah.
sociable. But that is also a reason why when you went into real estate, you're doing fantastic,
Yeah.
because
Well, I was never that social.
oh
It can be a really, it can be a little uncomfortable. But now I do realize from selling homes and just doing it,
hmm.
for the most part, people are pretty cool and it's fun. It's fun to meet those new people, but yeah, it took me a little while to get out of my shell.
But I guess it's pretty much your gift that is uncovered over the years, and also because you're passionate about it, and
Yeah.
that is what I want to share with a lot of mothers who are watching, or any parents that are watching, that when you are doing something that you truly love, you're passionate about, you don't really matter whatever that matters, whether you are an introvert, whether you are someone who don't speak much, you are someone who
Mhm.
don't socialize. Basically you are just spreading positive vibes, and the energy that people will come and like you and associate with you. And even you don't say anything, people will come to you when you are doing something that you're passionate about, when you love what you are doing. And that is how I got connected with you, Judy, through
Yeah.
Rebecca, because she said, "Oh, Judy is someone that you really need to meet up, need to connect with her." And now here we are, having you on my live show, and pretty blessed to have you coming on. And how do people, especially in your area, how do they connect with you? Maybe you can share with us.
On Facebook or
Mm,
call me or I've got a website,
mm, mm.
coloradosuburbhomes.com. Go there and I have access to the MLS in Colorado Springs and Denver. So,
Wow, wow. So
they can go there and look at homes. No
yeah.
pressure.
So for those who are staying around this area, I will post how do you connect with Judy in the post or in the comments, so that you're able to reach out to her. She's really good at it. She's really passionate, and she shared a lot of tips. I hope that I can use it in Singapore, and so Judy, in terms of that, when you talk about integrity in providing your service, how does that come in? Is it because for long term basis, because you are doing the business for long term, does that integrity matters a lot?
It matters a lot if you want referral business. And the
Mm,
thing is I've been taken advantage for marketing dollars or on something I bought. And I just don't think and that's why especially with women, I think women feel like they have to know everything before they do it, right? You really don't. You'll learn it, but our fear of failure, I think, is real. And then how do I provide a roof over my kid's head? How do I, what do I do for medical insurance? All those
yeah.
fears are real. Um, but I would just say, I don't know, just have faith because it's
Mm,
the law of attraction.
yeah.
You will attract anything you want,
Mm,
right?
yes.
But if you're thinking about these bills and all these pressures of life, then that's what you're going to get is pressures in life. But if you
Yes.
think what could happen and
Yes.
you pursue that, you'll just live, just do what makes you happy is what I say, and be passionate about it. As far as integrity, just do the right thing with whatever you do, and people remember that.
Yes. Oh.
People, they do. And I would say most of my clients have been people that I used to work with.
Hmm.
because they remember I'm not, because of, because I'm not a liar.
Yeah, because you showed it through your action, show it through the gesture, you show it
Yes.
through by doing it, by not by having that integrity and keeping it regardless whatever happened, and that's where you're doing really great in your real estate business, and I really very proud to know you and so thankful that I've connected with you, and also because you are so passionate about helping people, and for me, I'm also I feel you because I'm passionate about helping people, especially mothers, to help them to balance between their motherhood, their parenting, and also their business or even their work. So time really flies. I really want to share more for you to share more with us, but um uh, like that there's a tradition at the end of the coming to the end of the show. There's a question of the day that every guest get to post. So now it's your turn to post a question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So Judy, do you have are you ready with your question of the day?
My question of the day would be, um, what do you do to get back up after you fall down?
What is that again?
Like, what do you do to
Hmm.
get back up after you fall down?
What do you do to get get what? Get back.
Back up
Okay, get back up
after you fall down.
after you fall down. Wow.
Yeah, so in other words, how do you get over your fears? Like when you do your fears
Hmm.
of failure? Because
Yeah.
we fall off, so we don't, you can't succeed at everything. It just doesn't have, it's just not that way. So
Yes.
what do you do? What do you do to,
Yes. Get
when you get
yourself out.
rejected, how do you get yourself to back up and to do it
Hmm.
again? That would be my question.
Wow, wow. So the question of the day is, what do you do to get back up after you fall down? Which is really,
That's
really a
right.
very good question. And I will post that
Thanks.
question in the comments area. And also for those who are watching this, do comment it below with your answers to this question of the day, which is what do you do to get back up after you fall down? So really looking forward to hear from you guys and also see your answers to the question of the day. And Judy, any last advice for the mothers who are sitting on the fence, wanting to step into their passion, to pursue their passion, or even stepping into real estate, especially for single parents?
I would say, was it Robert Kiyosaki? He says, how you're always working, thinking about how am I going to make more money? What am I going to do? I wish I had my own business. And he says, mind your business. So while you're working at a mediocre job, start before you get another job. I would say, mind your business. Start a job which you want to do, whether
Mm,
it's real estate, whether it's like Rebecca's a painter. I
mm,
mean, can you imagine? Her passion is painting and now she's selling painting and she's
yeah,
teaching people how to paint and it's amazing. But
yes.
I would say eventually you'll make more money doing your side job than your real job, and when that happens you quit that job.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. Yeah, and really thankful for the advice and for all the sharing that you have shared with us. Really thankful, and Kenneth here signing off with Judy. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys. Thank you, Judy. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.